The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
And it is a beautiful Monday, April 16th today. It is National Pet ID Week. If you've got a pet, make sure he's got a collar, identification tags, microchipped if you can, and or some places they actually do tattoo identification. But I don't know, that microchip, I guess if someone stole your dog, if it's tattooed, it may be a lot tougher for them to, if it's a dog that they would steal. I know that's some problem around this area is people actually stealing dogs, nice show dogs and stuff out of people's yards. But I don't know. Just make sure that you can get your dog back. I guess eventually when they take them to the vet, they're going to get microchipped, going to get checked. But, it's nice to know that your puppy is going to find his way home one day. It is a pleasant 83 degrees in the world headquarters for technical trading and investing here at TFNN. Got to go down and sit in with Steve Rhodes' little group on Friday for a few minutes in between the shows. Everybody seemed to be learning a great deal, and if you need a lot of special attention, he's going to have one more session, and that's going to be April 27th and 28th in Boston. And you can go to the front page of TFNN and check on that. On my radar, we got Apple. It's off fairly decently. What do we got right now? It's off $21. Certainly pop back under that $600 level. Google also off a bit. Let's see if I... off... was it off of $15 or so? $17.77. So you got a lot of these big guys that have been getting all the action, while the rest of the market had been pulling back, selling off, and seeing some strength, actually, when we look at the indexes, where we're still up $1.50 on the S&P, which almost seems nuts. When you look at these big guys out here, off 20 on the NASDAQ seems rather easy. And, of course, big juice under Caterpillar and some upgrades on some of the Dow stocks today, pushing it up over 100 today. So a little bit of divergence in the indexes, but not when these big stocks tend to pull back, they tend to pull back in one big swoop, and probably going to be setting up maybe some kind of double top or double repo. We had one caller in on Friday talking about that, so we'll be watching on those. But Apple and Google and Priceline, what's Priceline off? $25, and I don't know what that is for Priceline. That can't be right. 3%. Okay, off $25, which is about 3.5%. Chipotle off about $5 off 1%. Not a big deal. Still looking at a lot of these stocks that are gone parabolic. There's always 4 or 5 of these things out in the marketplace that everybody always puts all their money into, and it is feast or famine. One day you wake up and they do break. Carlyle Group is coming out with its IPO fairly soon. Oak Tree actually came out last week. Symbol is OAK. But a lot of these private equity funds are getting ready to go public. Carlyle's looking to raise about $700 million. And you can be looking at that. The last big push for private equity groups were Blackstone Group. BX, they were $29 on their first day. I think they're printing off about $14.50 today. These have not been historically very good over time, but we can take a look at it. We are going through expiration this week, so keep an eye on that. Imagine we'll probably have some fireworks on Wednesday or Thursday, and setting up expiration day on Friday. Boeing is getting into smartphones. And basically the reason why is RIM's going out of business. To this point, even the president has and still does have a RIM phone, and being able to text and everything from it, at least semi-securely. I don't think that they do a lot of totally secure things on there, but at least he can email his wife or text his kids or stuff. But they're actually looking at it. Now, these phones have been in the past up to $15,000. Boeing's going to be doing an Android phone, a secure Android phone, and right now they're working out the kinks in the contracts, but it looks like Boeing's going to be making $5,000 Android smartphones, and these phones will be secure and probably a little bit more added to them, but going to be in the smartphone business, which is kind of a little different. But basically, it's they're pretty much the only company that the government could go to replace what they think is RIM going away. And they had to move fairly quickly, and they are. But look for these phones. Boeing's kind of saying that they think they can drop the price by using Android from about $15,000 per secure phone to about $5,000. And I don't know how many totally secure phones are out there, but I'm sure that's probably in the neighborhood of 5,000 phones. So it's a big ticket for the U.S. taxpayer out here. If we can save 2/3 of that money, probably not a bad deal. And Boeing is pretty good in keeping secrets. Earnings today, Stratasys came out. Let me see on that. Let me check real quick here. It's up about almost $6. Was up earlier about 20%. They had earnings out this morning. They also had kind of a cross buyout with another 3D printer company. That whole space popped fairly well today, but SSYS is pretty much the big leader out there today. In earnings tomorrow, we start off after the bell, or before the bell, with Goldman Sachs tomorrow morning, and then we have Cree, Intel, and Yahoo after the bell. So we're going to start seeing a lot of decent movement in these stocks and in the markets over the next few days. What else do we have? Facebook's IPO date. Talked a little bit about this on Friday, but looks like May 17th is the date. We'll be on the NASDAQ under the ticker FB. Was going to be around the 26th. But they bought Instagram, and it's now pushed off as it takes one more trip through the paper world of the SEC to get the rubber stamp on it. But I can't imagine it's going to be a big deal. One of the nice things, if you're Instagram, 2 years ago you were starting your company, you've never made a dime, you've never made a profit, all you've done is built a company, and today you're a billionaire. Not a bad deal. But this is the one out of 10,000 companies that ends up being this. There is another 10,000 that actually had to turn a profit or went bankrupt or anything else. But certainly a little bit of chum in the water for a lot of these startup companies that could go from, I think they had $25–30 million turned into $1 billion in 2 years. Not a bad return. And, of course, with that jobs bill, we're probably going to see more of these spun out to crowdsourcing. A little bit about crowdsourcing because I've had a couple of questions. Most of them are going to limit the amount that you can put in one of these startup companies that are private at about 2% of your yearly income. So if you make $100,000, you would be able to put in about $2,000 a year into something like Instagram, $200,000, maybe $4,000. They're saying that this is going to be the reason why that they won't be doing the same mistakes that they've done in the past, in that you won't be able to suck an entire person's net wealth into one single company that may or may not one day be worth something. Yet another Mac-specific Trojan, as soon as they came out Friday with a patch for the first really big Trojan on Macintoshes. Saturday came out yet another Mac-specific Trojan. This one's called the Backdoor OS X, but these guys are getting extremely good at writing the same kind of thing they have forever for Microsoft. And it seems so far that Apple is not really set up well to handle and work with others when people find these and report them. But they're going to have to do that fairly well. Of course, they're off fairly big today. But we'll have to see what happens on that. But all these stocks that have been running way too well are getting ready to pull back. FCC is going to fine Google for about $25,000 for violating everybody's privacy over the last couple of years. When they were driving around your neighborhood, they were basically listening in on any kind of conversation that they could and recording it. And when you actually look and see how much that $25,000 fine is, it is 0.00008% of what they made in the last quarter. So basically, not even a parking ticket, if you wanted to look at it at that level. It's just about nothing. But at least they've quit running around sniffing everybody's IP packet like two dogs meeting out in the parking lot. Apple's back under fire also for backing off its IPv6 support. We're pretty much out of those addresses for IPv4, but apparently Apple has got its hands on a bunch of them, and they're really kind of dragging their legs in a lot of their new router technology. They got an earful over the weekend and this week in Denver, where they were going to the North American IPv6 Summit. And everybody's kind of upset about them, especially the airport utility and their actual hardware out here, where they had IPv6 capability in their operating system long before a lot of other people did. But now they're kind of dropping the ball very late on this. It's very uncharacteristic for Apple to be this far back. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to see what they have. Anyway, that's pretty much what we have in the regular news at the moment. Let's see if we can pop something else up here. There were a few other things that I did see, and let me see if I can pop those up. There was one thing I wanted to get to here. Maybe I'll find it. Yeah. I'll think about it here in a little bit. Just right now, we're kind of waiting for earnings to start in a big way. I guess Goldman Sachs will be the issue tomorrow morning and probably set the tone for the marketplace. We're up 2 points on the S&P, off 17 on the NASDAQ, and up $106 on the Dow. Anyway, we'll come back. We're going to start looking at some charts and maybe some other things that look very interesting to me. We'll be back in just a second. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
Here's what people are saying about Tiger TV.
Let's go to John in Tampa. Hey, John, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
A wonderful day. I love your Tiger TV. I watch it every day. I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Oh, man, I appreciate you out there watching it. How long have you been watching the Tiger TV?
I'm watching almost a month now, and it's wonderful.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it's cool. You see the charts and everything. Thanks so much for the hard work.
Tiger TV, a great news service from TFNN.com. TFNN is proud to bring you the cutting edge of investment newsletters. Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Ken is a top-down investor who lets price and volume in the major stock indices tell him when to be in the market and when to be out. By using his unique blend of fundamental and technical analysis, Ken will protect your hard-earned capital while realizing breakout gains. Go to TFNN.com today, click Investment Newsletters, and get Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks free for 2 weeks.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of The Money Masters with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN.com, author of Mastering Probabilities, a daily investment and trading newsletter, and teacher of the money game. Studies show that 3 out of 5 people are afraid for their life in trading these markets, and the number one reason given is fear of loss. Look, fear stands for false evidence appearing real, and the money game proves it. Lesson number 1, don't risk more than 1% of your trading capital on any trade. Why, you ask? Because 35 trades in a row where you risk 50 cents and make $1 are all you need to double your trading capital, versus the 230 losing trades in a row you would need to bring your balance to $100. Let me teach you more about the money game risk-free for 30 days. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, for your 30-day risk-free trial. You were born to be a money master, and I'll teach you how.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And that was a nice little ad for the Tech Insider. We're actually had our first stock hit an actual 50% move in that long-term newsletter. So we have our first 50% winner, did today. So be very interesting to see how the day plays out here. I was going to say we had a couple of questions. One was, what did I think of Cree before earnings? And that was someone in the den, if I can go back and find it here. But, you know, the big problem I was upset about is both of these companies, both Cree and Panel, are both companies that are very much like some of the others that have been out here that have really taken big hits. I'm not a big fan of these companies that really don't make anything but only license things. Cree and Panel are both those. They come up with technology and then license it. Panel at least has a little bit better customers that are actually paying them for the existing patents that they have on some of their LED lighting. Cree, of course, is a big LED lighting company. Panel, P-A-N-L, is the other one. And, you know, you could probably get back up to 37.20 on this. I can't really tell you how well this company's doing. The energy up is about the same as the energy down. The one thing I dislike about this is you had a nice high-volume high back here on November 4th with 9.3 million shares at $31. 34 cents. It's been trying to kind of bust through that a few times with 4.4 million shares on March 19th. We got into 3, 4, 5 million shares last few days. If it comes out with good earnings, it could bounce, and maybe we're going to get some volume. But too much of a coin flip for me in Cree. At least no one thinks that they know anything about it. Panel, which is the sister company in that same space, it could possibly have a little bit better move, maybe on some pin action on the Cree News, because I'd watch that one. But it's down here with about 600,000 shares, trying to get down into some candles that had about 2 million shares. To me, Panel would be the more interesting play after Cree came out. But again, this one had, this one's actually showing some signs where the energy was about 2/3 more on the last big leg down from, $55.25 down to $31.55, that January 5th low. You had the next big high on February, which is kind of like about a 618 retracement up on February 3rd. About 1.1 million shares, 48.07, and it's kind of come back. But the energy on this one is significantly different than when we look at Cree. So Cree kind of a coin flip. This one, if you could get a test of that $31 and it's at $31.55. It's got 2 million shares that day. Boy, you would really, this one would be one I think would be set up a lot better. All these have a lot of internal confluence levels just above, but really reason I have the confluence levels set up are some of the stocks that we are watching out here, and some of them are setting up with really, really tight, really tradable confluence levels. Confluence levels, hopefully you've read Tom's book, but basically when you have multiple Fibonacci retracements, you take any two in a series and use the same focus number, and by doing that, you're going to have a number between the 618 of one movement and the 381 of another one. And when you get them nice and tight, and over some amount of time, not over a few days, but over months and years, those are the ones that you really love. What I'm trying to show here are two really good setups for Fibonacci confluence levels, and we're starting to actually see some of those now with these moves that we've had over the last few days. You really have a huge what should be extremely good support at about 190 on IBM, and the next one down is about 174.5. But those, when they get with this and a few pennies of a big stock like that, these are where you really need to, if you're thinking bearish, you really need to be thinking about where you might be able to buy some of these on the pullback. And a lot of these have pulled back. IBM not so much today, but really getting some nice signals up here. Maybe the market's kind of coming back to us a little bit, and as technical traders. S&P up $1.50, off 20 on the NASDAQ, up 103 on the Dow. We'll be looking at the volume when we come back and some more stocks. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've always thought about trying out his newsletter, Market Insights. Well, now is the perfect time. For a limited time only, when you sign up for a 2-week free trial to Market Insights, we'll send you a free copy of Tom O'Brien's best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System. If you decide to cancel within the 2-week trial period, pay absolutely nothing and keep Tom's book as a free gift from us. Tom sends out his daily newsletter each morning by 9:30 a.m. with trade recommendations, including price targets and price stops. As recently as March 21st, Market Insights subscribers closed out a position for more than a 25% profit in just over 2 weeks. To get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights, along with your free copy of The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Supplies are limited for this one-of-a-kind special, so act today and don't let this opportunity pass you by. Offer only valid for new subscribers.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportion of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney believes that a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Smith Barney financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Certified Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC. Member SIPC.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
This segment is brought to you by Direction Shares. To learn more about tactical tools for the sophisticated active investor, hit the Direction Shares banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And with earnings coming out, we're going to go through some of the bigger stocks out here and start taking a look and see how they're lining up. Applied Materials, the biggest in the semiconductor industry for manufacturing, has kind of come close to setting a kind of a decent level out here for support. Pretty light volume today. And let's see if we got, the thing that I'm looking at in Applied Materials is a nice level out here. They had a March 5th low out here, $11.92, 18 million shares. And, you came back into it, went below it, closed back above it with 13 million shares. So a fairly decent signal. This thing is pretty much dried out for a lot of sellers at this level. Tried to get back in there today. Going to have about 8 million shares. So, that's really what I like. I like to see these things touch out and come down into these levels with 50% of the volume that they have before. This thing's probably, if it closes above 1092 again today, you'd probably have to say that that was a fairly decent signal. And you know, the next one we probably want to look at is Intel. Again, probably the biggest thing is Intel's coming out with their next version of their chips and 22 nanometer technology. As long as someone's looking for a chip, basically they've gone to the head of the line, so I'm not really as worried about what they're looking at. We are up here on the lighter volume, but lighter volume across the entire marketplace. Let me see if I can get what that is. 2.8 billion shares for today. We did like, doing 2.6, I think, or 3.6 the last few days on Thursday, Friday last week, somewhere in that range. We're probably going to end up closing the day out with something like that. So, I think it's just quiet before the storm here, and that storm is going to be the huge move. And that's going to be on earnings here that we're going to be winding up for. But so far, what we have in Intel, let me actually get even a shorter Intel version up here as we look. You had kind of a nice sideways moving action for about 20 days from, what is that, about January. That's going to be what, January 20th. You went all the way through, had a nice consolidation, finally broke out. You really haven't had a lot of volume at these levels up here, but it hadn't been all that bad. When you really look at the last couple, $28.45, you had, 2.8 million shares. Yeah, it was 28 million shares, excuse me. And then, you had 37 million shares. Let's see, what had that been on Thursday up at these highs? 27 million shares today, 28 million shares. So probably going to see something. But certainly looking at a stock that could run a lot longer, especially with earnings and all their new chips coming out the 23rd or 26th, whatever I said earlier. So we have to be looking at that. Look at some other stocks fairly quickly. Apple, I don't really look at Apple very much. And we're going to see whether or not we've actually gotten the kind of movement that we're looking for in something like this to actually make and put in some kind of top. But we were talking a little bit about it on Friday, and those are the overlays that I like are going to be two, and that is doing the 3x3 displaced moving average. And let's see if I can do it here. And the idea is to find 15 days of it on one side, a couple of days on the other side, and then a close below it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So, pretty much you got it in there. That's kind of what you're looking for, is this nice move up, mostly along that line, and a close below it. So you had that about 3 days ago. And, you pretty much use that 3x3, which is just taking an average of the last 3 days and pushing them out 3 days. And as long as you stay on that side of the line, that's your trend. But, the volume's not all that exciting on Apple yet so far today. Maybe things will change before the end of the day. But when we look at those, CMG, it's a lot of these stocks could set up the end of the parabolic moves. I'm trying to remember, it was Janice, I think, on Friday called. We were looking at finding CMG actually closing below the 3x3, and the same thing. You really don't have these stocks really setting up besides Apple with really nasty patterns. Price line is PLCN, right? PLCN. PCLN, maybe? Yeah, PCLN. Now, this is another good indicator here that this may, and normally what you would like to see is you got some heavy volume down, is one more close back above that 3x3 displaced line, and then a close back below it. But you get everything on one side of it, and this is certainly it. and you get, you've got kind of a nice break down here, but a lot of times you're going to get, in fact, I'd say probably 75–80% of the time of these parabolic moves, you're going to get a pullback and you're going to get one more test of the high. You want to make sure that that volume test is low compared to the previous one. In Priceline's, it's 2.3 million shares, so I'd be looking for 1 million, 1.5 million, something like that. But you want it to get somewhere back above this 3x3 displaced moving average. And if you're watching on Tiger TV, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit closer. You have the close above it. You have the close below it. Now you want to go back above it one more time. And the next close below that would be the line that you'd want to say you'd want to be short some of these that have been running extremely hard. So let's take a few other stocks out here. GN Marine Petroleum Network. It's one of these ones I've been watching to see whether or not it could actually break out. Really needed about 1.2 million shares. February 24th was the high, a high at $7.50, 1.2 million shares. Tried to get through it with 390,000 shares on March 19th, and of course couldn't make it because just no juice. We've also got one more try up here last couple of days, but 900,000 shares on Friday. Going to come in probably with about 450,000, 500,000 shares today. And, of course, you need to close back below 750, give you a decent sell signal. You're probably not going to short this thing. But there's a lot of them out there kind of gasping for breath, and so some of these are going to be in sector rotations fairly good. Market continues to hold on fairly well. Dow's up 113. NASDAQ, with all the carnage of those big stocks, just off 19, and up 2 on the S&P. Gold, I think we looked at, it's off 7. They really pushed 2 or 3 times on it very hard today to break it down, and this area really seems to be pretty massive support in that 1645, 1655 range is really set up as a kind of a line in the sand where this thing, even when we blew down to 1620, it popped right back up over those levels just in a few days. Let me see what else we have. Bellacorp is another one that's kind of interesting to me. When we look at this, you really like to see these things kind of break out and have decent volume, and this one did. That's the last big up volume day, which was on the 5th of January. You had about 1.25 million shares on that day. That's what's kind of come back in there after a nice big run, and now it's getting its consolidation period out. What I really like about this one is this a heavy volume low on March 6th, $6.45, 1.4 million shares. We got into that with 50% of the volume on April 10th, and this thing's continued to consolidate out. They are a television company in the United States. It owns 20 television stations, including ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, CW, and My Network TV affiliates. That's I don't know what you're thinking, but one of the things it does, since I was in this industry, and of course we actually used to sell time at TFNN when Tom owned his radio station. This year is going to be a big year for being able to sell ad revenue for these terrestrial broadcasters. And of course, as soon as we get out of November, or the end of October, first couple of days of November, all those ads are going to cease, and they're going to be back fighting for advertisers. More and more every day, people are cutting cable, and I'm wondering if you're probably not going to see a little bit more of people come back to terrestrial broadcasting. One of the interesting things is that even last week, some of the worst ratings for all the regular shows on the 4 major networks happened over the last 10 days. In fact, pretty disastrous kind of numbers. Now, maybe that had something to do with vacations and, Easter, but we'll have to watch fairly closely. But pretty disastrous numbers for a lot of things on television. And when I'm talking disasters, I mean numbers that they get like on USA Network for some of their shows that they film up in Vancouver. Not the mainline shows that you see down here in the United States, like Big Bang Theory and a lot of others. I mean, we're talking 4 or 5 million viewers. They're getting that on shows that cost half or less to produce on a lot of those like TNN and USA networks. So these guys are going to be in somewhat of a problem if that doesn't do any better. I'm wondering how much that advertising for the political events has caused people to tune out on some of those. Houghton Royalty Realty is another one that looks fairly interesting. This thing would have to have a fairly decent return. It is 80% net profits interest in natural gas, and maybe, natural gas not doing all that bad, but certainly we are going below some fairly certain levels on natural gas, and not a lot of volume in this thing. What I'm looking at is the January 19th low, and the symbol is HGT, if you're not watching on Tiger TV. $13.82 on January 19th, 820,000 shares. Let's see here. And as we went below that last couple of days, 443,000 shares, probably going to have 550,000 shares today. This thing would have to go back and close back up to get a decent signal above $13.82. But when you really look at this, hopefully you're watching on Tiger TV or in the Den, pretty light volume for some of these gold stocks, gas stocks. Gas itself is actually closing, or probably going to close back above $2 today. In fact, I think it's after the close. It was up 3 cents. It got 201. And we're going to have to watch natural gas real close, because when this thing does turn, it may take, you never know how long it's going to take. Sometimes it takes a few months, maybe it takes a year. But when this thing does get off the ground, natural gas is probably going to be one of those trades that you'll remember the rest of your life if you can catch it correctly. So we'll continue watching that, but there's some of those. Gold stocks also kind of interesting, making some tests of some very high volume lows. Even on a shorter scale, I'm looking at Hecla, and that's got a big low out here on January 11th, $4.25, 53 million shares. Been kind of bouncing against that as support. Got down to 409 on April 10th. With 6.5 million shares, kind of just bounced a little bit, rolled back over, but we're, going to be at 3.5 million shares today. You're really getting into it. We need to close back above 425, get this thing back in the line, but, you kind of have to keep an eye on it. I know some people are fairly bearish on gold out here. I'm not one of them. I'm kind of sanguine about it, but a lot of these gold stocks really showing some level of support at very high volume lows. I think it's KWK, isn't it? Quicksilver Resources, we've been watching that in some of these silver stocks. Same kind of pattern you're seeing in that in a lot of the other gold stocks, which is these super high volume lows. In the case of Quicksilver Resources, the silver stock, KWK, is the February 1st low at $4.14, 20 million shares. We've gone below it. You still need to close back above it, which you're not going to, I don't think you're going to get today. But a close back above 414, you've got 25 million shares against about 4.5 million, and you really haven't gotten a whole lot more out here. Now, normally what you're going to get out of there is a nice little move, but sometimes you're going to need a little bit more in the way of consolidation before these things really get going. Quicksilver, which I did. Another semiconductor out here that looks like it's banging around the lows is Tel Labs. They're kind of a telecommunications semi company. This $3.80, $3.70 level has really been banged against the floor several times out here. We've actually seen finally the volume really starting to drop out. Highest volume along there was 6.7 million shares on the December 19th low, $3.78. Got to 373 and back over 2.8 million shares. So finding a lot of these stocks that are really looking like they got their backs against the wall.
In the world of financial markets, there's a new player in town with an exciting new way to trade the markets. Nadex now offers binary options as well as bull spreads in a wide range of indices along with commodity and forex markets. With as little as $100, you can gain access to a new way to trade global financial markets while guaranteeing that your risk will always be capped. Nadex allows you to multiply your trading opportunities in ways never imagined before and access markets you once thought were out of reach. With short-term trading opportunities available, including binary options expiring each hour the market is open, Nadex allows you to take advantage of a variety of market conditions regardless of volatility or market direction. Now is the time to take advantage of this exciting new market. Don't let this trading opportunity pass you by. Open your account today by clicking on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Nadex, a better way to trade.
TFNN is proud to bring you the cutting edge of investment newsletters. Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Ken is a top-down investor who lets price and volume in the major stock indices tell him when to be in the market and when to be out. By using his unique blend of fundamental and technical analysis, Ken will protect your hard-earned capital while realizing breakout gains. Go to TFNN.com today, click Investment Newsletters, and get Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks free for 2 weeks.
Folks, turns out my best student became my best teacher. Steve Rhodes absolutely raised my standards, and I'll guarantee he'll raise yours.
Thanks, Tom. What I've learned is that if you want more, you must become more, and that transformation, folks, that occurs the moment you decide to become a master. Now, the quickest way to mastery is through immersion, and for 2 solid days in Denver, Boston, and Tampa, I'll create a new standard of wealth for those few trader investors who have a burning desire to succeed. At my Master Trader course, I'll teach you how to create the ultimate money machine. These are the best-kept secrets in the business. Roadblocks, folks. Dabblers give up when they first appear. Stressors last just a little bit longer, but masters expect roadblocks and achieve extraordinary results when they bust right through them. I have all the benefit of knowing the type of wealth creation that I can generate for you. You don't. That's why I'm making this unconditional money-back guarantee. If for any reason you're not satisfied with my Master Trader course, I'll refund every penny. That's right. I take all the risk, and you get all the benefit. Go to the homepage at TFNN.com and sign up today.
Put the power of the Chapman Wave methodology to work for you. No matter what market you trade, what time frame you trade in, or your trading style, the opening call, Basil Chapman's daily market newsletter, is bursting with the information and trades you need to become a more successful trader.
I've been using Basil Chapman's Chapman Wave methodology for several years now. His Chapman Wave can be used for any time period for not only equities, but futures, currencies, commodities. I've been also a subscriber of his opening call, which I find an invaluable tool to help me analyze the potential of the market each day. He gives you opportunities to go short and long. It includes recommendations on stocks. I strongly recommend people using the Chapman Wave, and I very, very strongly support the use of his opening call.
To find out more about Basil Chapman and his Chapman Wave methodology, and to get your 2-week free trial of the opening call, a $64 value, visit TFNN.com today.
Here's what people are saying about Tiger TV.
Let's go to John in Tampa. Hey, John, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
A wonderful day. I love your Tiger TV. I watch it every day. I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Oh, man, I appreciate you out there watching it. How long have you been watching the Tiger TV?
I'm watching almost a month now, and it's just wonderful.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it's cool. You see the charts and everything. Thanks so much for the hard work.
Tiger TV, a great news service from TFNN.com. Catch Tom O'Brien, founder and CEO of TFNN, professional trader and educator. Also a special guest on CNBC, analyzing the commodity markets. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're going to look at a couple of stocks that we looked at last week and see how they're doing. But this is pretty much what I see out here, and that is sector rotation out of these big bloated stocks like Apple, which is now off $26 or so. Is a lot of these retesting their lows and some of the breakout areas, but coming down lower, making lower volume, and now closing back above their previous swings. And back into the trading range. One of those is Magnum Hunter Resources. MHR is the symbol on that one. But I was pointing out, I think last Wednesday, about this one. March 6 low, $6.01. Almost 6 million shares came into it on April 10th with 3.5 million shares. We got the pretty much the close back in above them. But when you draw a line across these, most of these, you're going to see that they're back. They've come back to support. They haven't come back with enormous energy. It's been okay. But normally this sets up at least one more run for a high volume high like on this one. $7.71 on that. So, you know, you've got a $2.70 move. Is that about, actually, now you're going to have, what, about $1.70 move on that. Still not a bad profit on some of these setting up, just kind of bouncing around in these trading ranges. I think a lot of these big companies have gotten overheated. We're going to be looking at it. Another one that I wanted to follow up on from last week and see how these support levels are coming in is MKS Instruments. And that is set up kind of a nice little move out here and at support at a previous gap. What I was really looking at is you had this nice move up to almost $35, $34.99, and that was a nice high volume high out here. It did reverse off that, but 820,000 shares on February 2nd. It's done its nice pullback all the way back down to this line. The last major low is March 6th with 520,000 shares at $27.72. We've moved back into the original gap up that started all that movement. That gap didn't have all that much volume, 400,000 shares, but we are getting into it with 20,000 shares, and you've got a nice little doji pattern setting up for today. So maybe some of these other ones, if we actually see the market starting to turn up and maybe the bloodletting is over on some of these big stocks, and we probably start seeing the market as a whole come back. I wanted to get into volume before the end of the day with the last minute and a half. We're just turning about 3.1 billion shares. Again, you really would want to see if you're thinking, if you're thinking bullish, then we want the S&P to close just slightly negative today on lighter volume. It would be nice to have these things pop a lot bigger, but for the most part, they're not all doing that well, and the rest of the markets actually, I think we're seeing a lot of money come out of those stocks and maybe into some of these others that are holding up the markets a lot better than you would actually think. Let me see on this. Yeah, we're just flat on the S&P now, off about just a little less than 25 on the NASDAQ, 24 on the NASDAQ, and still up 93 on the Dow, 94 on the Dow. Sprott Physical Trust, not one we really love here, but still giving some fairly decent indications that there is some pretty decent support right around this $13 level for Sprott Physical Silver. Let's see if we have anything else. Vishay International. We're probably not going to have enough time to take a look at that, but I'm going to assign you a little bit of homework. VSH, if you want to see one that's kind of coming back into these lows on nice light volume, starting to see where support is in this. We've got about 10 minutes, and Tom O'Brien will be in the studio to wrap up the evening. You all have a great and wonderful evening. See you Wednesday.
Great Basin Gold is a mining company engaged in the exploration and development of two emerging gold properties in Nevada and South Africa with a total resource base of more than 23 million gold ounces. Great Basin's Burnstone mine in South Africa opened in February of this year with a resource of 20 million gold ounces, becoming the first mine to open in the historic Witwatersrand Basin in the last 30 years. The Burnstone mine is projected to have a 25-year mine life and is fully financed with production anticipated to be over 250,000 ounces per year at a cash cost of only $450 per ounce. The Hollister mine in Nevada became fully integrated in the fourth quarter of 2010 with annual production estimates of 110,000 ounces of gold per year over the 8-year mine life at a cash cost of only $527 per ounce. Great Basin Gold is cash flow positive and trades on the Toronto and New York stock exchanges under the symbol GBG.